And I also hope that you are having a good day so far. So today for our grade 2 lesson, we will be doing our grade 2. So today basically we'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson on possessive nouns. We'll be doing our grade 2 English lesson on possessive nouns. Possessive nouns. And before we start with our lesson on possessive nouns, we are going to log into aplusstudents.ca. Once we've logged into aplusstudents.ca with our username as well as our password, and then we're going to select the subject of language arts. And we're going to select grade 1, grade 2. Once you've selected grade 2, you're going to scroll down the chapters up until you get to the chapter of possessive nouns. So we are going to then select possessive nouns, right? And then under the chapter of possessive nouns, the lessons that we are going to be focusing on is to identify plurals, singular possessives, as well as plural possessives, right? We are also going to form the singular or plural possessive. So that is going to be our lesson for today. So we're going to be focusing on that 2 lessons for today under the chapter of possessive nouns. All right, so when it comes to possessive nouns, a possessive noun shows who or what owns something or has something. So it shows who or what owns something or has something. That's a possessive noun. Who owns something or who has something. And when a noun is singular, right, we add an apostrophe and an S. So we add an apostrophe and an S to form the singular possessive noun. For example, Matt, right? Matt is singular, right? So Matt's glove, something that belongs to Matt. So something that belongs to Matt. If it's something that belongs to Matt, then we can say it's Matt's glove. So the glove belongs to Matt, so we can say it's Matt's glove. And there we have the apostrophe. So it's like writing Matt's name, and we put the apostrophe and the S, right? Because it's something that belongs to Matt, right? What is his? What belongs to him? The glove. So the glove belongs to Matt. The bird, right? So the bird is the noun. So if we want to make mention of the bird's wings, right? The beautiful wings of the birds, right? And then the wings, right? It's of course part of the bird. So then we can say the bird's wings. So the birds, right? It is like writing bird. There's the word bird, put apostrophe like they said, and an S. Bird's wings. So this basically shows either ownership or it shows what something has or what someone has, right? So possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something or has something. And when a noun is singular, we said singular means one, right? It means one. Then we add an apostrophe and an S. That is the apostrophe and an S, like we said, to form the singular possessive noun. And then we made a few examples. So once again, if we look at another few examples on possessive nouns, right? A person, place, or thing that shows ownership of something. It says something, someone who or what owns something, right? Or has something. So person, place, or thing that shows ownership of something. The boy's coat, right? So what belongs to the boy? It's his coat. So we can say it's the boy's coat. And there we have the apostrophe. Remember, if you don't add the, if you're just going to say, if you're just going to say the boy's coat, then that is going to be wrong. Because this shows plural. This shows more than one boy, right? You need to say the boy's coat. So boy, apostrophe, and S. Then it gives us the indication that it is a singular possessive noun. All right, so now we're going to a+students.ca. So we're going to a+students.ca, and we said that our chapter is possessive nouns, and the first lesson under our chapter is to identify plurals, singular possessives, and plural possessives. And so we're going to open to identify plurals, singular possessives, and plural possessives. All right. So a possessive noun, right? We said a possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something or has something. So it shows who owns something or it shows who has something. So if you own something, then it belongs to you, right? So if your name is Jake, then it means it's Jake's ball. It's my ball, right? It's Anna's doll, right? So we don't just say Anna doll. So if your name is Anna, we don't just say Anna doll, right? No, we need to say it's Anna's doll, and we put the apostrophe and the S. If it's Jake's ball, right? We don't just say Jake ball. We need to say it is Jake's ball, and we put the apostrophe, right? The boys' um, pants, right? It's the pants that belong to the boy. If you put boys and you want to refer to one boy, right? Then this is wrong because this shows plural, right? You need to put the apostrophe to show singular possessive. That needs to show the possessive. So that apostrophe and the S, it shows position, it shows someone owning something or has something, right? And it shows singular. But as soon as you just put boys with no apostrophe, we would get the idea that it is a plural. It's just plural. It is showing that it is more than one. All right. And when a noun is plural, so when a noun is plural and it ends in s, this is now where we come to the word boys, for example. So when the noun is plural and it ends in s, we just add an apostrophe to form the plural possessive noun, which means that if we have boys, right? So the boys camp. So boys is more than one, right? So we want to make mention of their camp. Then instead of putting another apostrophe and an S, right? That is wrong. All we do is, if that's the word boys, we just put the apostrophe at the end. We're not adding another S. We just put the apostrophe. So that shows plural possessive. All right. And then if we look at another example, right, of the schools, remember we said if we make mention of more than one, then it is plural, right? It is plural. So the schools, if we are talking about the different teams of the schools, right? So the different teams of the schools, and we will say schools team. So schools is plural. So if schools are plural or is plural, and then we just put the apostrophe. We don't still add another S, right? We don't add another S. We just say apostrophe at the end, not apostrophe and S, because that shows plural possessive noun. And then when a noun is plural and does not end in an S, we add the apostrophe and the S to form a plural possessive noun. So yes, even though we only add an S to a plural noun, right? So if we only add an apostrophe to the plural noun, right, we basically just add the apostrophe only when the plural ends in an S. But if the plural does not end in an S, then we put the apostrophe and S. Like, for example, children, right? The children's toys. So children. So children's toys. So we put the apostrophe and S. But children is plural. So children is plural, yes, but it does not end in an S. So we basically add the apostrophe and we add the S. But if this plural had to end in an S, for example, boys, right? If it had to end in an S, for example, boys is toys, boys is cars, boys is camp, then only we add the apostrophe at the end, and that shows the position, right? And remember, if you don't add the apostrophe, then it's just like you adding or stating that it's a plural, not a plural possessive noun. All right. So now, if we look at the word in bold, it says, what is the word in bold? There were 3 empty seats on the bus. There were 3 empty seats on the bus. So the word seats is seats plural? Is it plural possessive? Is it singular possessive? We need to say what seats mean. So if seats, right, remember I said that if it does not have an apostrophe, right, if it does not have an apostrophe or apostrophe in S, then it is just a plural noun. It is just a plural noun. It shows that there is more than one seat on the bus. There were 3 empty seats on the bus. So it basically just shows that there are 3 empty seats on the bus, more than 2 empty seats on the bus. That is basically what it shows, plural noun. We could hear voices behind the door. We could hear voices behind the door. So the word voices, is this a plural noun? Is the plural possessive noun or is the singular possessive noun? All right, so voices. Remember, we said that if there is no apostrophe or no apostrophe and S, then it does not give us the idea that it is possessive or possession. It does not show ownership, right? Or doesn't show that somebody has something, which means that this only shows that it is a plural noun. It shows more than one voice that is being heard. We could hear voices behind the door, right? So it's just that we could hear more than one voice behind the door. So this is a plural noun. And then the skates' laces never stay tied. The skates' laces never stayed tied. Stay tied. Skates. So skates. And there we have an apostrophe. Laces never stay tied. Is this a plural noun, a singular possessive, or a plural possessive? So my skates' laces never stay tied. So skates, remember we said that if we only add an apostrophe after a plural word, right, then it means that this is a plural possessive noun. So this is plural possessive noun. Shows more than one, right? And it ends in an S. So we only add the apostrophe. We don't still add the apostrophe and S. Only the apostrophe at the end because this plural word, it ends with an S. So skates. All right. If we look at this word, the boys splash in puddles after it rains. So puddles, the word puddles. The boys splash in puddles after it rains. So puddles, it does not have an apostrophe, right? Which means that if it doesn't have an apostrophe or apostrophe it is, then we can say it is a plural noun. So that is a plural noun. It's not a plural possessive, not a singular possessive. It is just a plural noun because it shows more than one. Puddles. Why is your neighbor's radio always on? So neighbor's radio always on. So why is your neighbor's radio always on? And there we have apostrophe and S. So why is your neighbor's radio always on? So neighbors' radio, neighbors. So this is a singular possessive noun. So singular possessive noun. So neighbors. So your neighbor, but your neighbor's radio. So that is a singular possessive noun. Our bicycle's wheels are big and round. Ow. Ow already gives us the idea that it is more than one. So our bicycle's wheels are big and round. So our bicycle's wheels are big and round. So bicycles. And this basically, seeing that we only have the apostrophe after the S, after the word, then it means that it is giving us plural possessive nouns. So plural possessive nouns, right? Because bicycles, so bicycles, it ends in an S. So we basically just add the apostrophe. So this is a plural possessive noun. All right, so let's go to our test. So we need to say what the word in bold is. We rode our bicycles to the park. We rode our bicycles to the park. So bicycles, is it a plural noun or a singular possessive noun? Bicycles. So option one or option two. So bicycles, right? We rode our bicycles to the park, right? So this has no apostrophe. And remember, we said that if there is no apostrophe, and then then it's basically just a plural noun, right? It just shows that it is more than one. So it is a plural noun. It is not a possessive at all because there's no apostrophe. It doesn't show that it is belongs to me, right? Or ownership of something. This is basically just giving me idea of a plural noun. So just bicycles. It's plural. It's more than one. Clara painted the fairy's wings yellow. So Clara painted the fairy's wings yellow. If we look at this word fairies, fairies even without the apostrophe is plural. Now we add the apostrophe. So this shows a plural possessive noun because it's fairies. Fairies' wings are yellow. So Clara painted the fairies' wings yellow. So we can say it's a plural possessive noun. It's not a plural noun. There is an apostrophe. The boys splash in puddles after it rains. So the boys splash in puddles after it rains. So puddles. So puddles, right? Remember we said that there's no apostrophe. And if there's no apostrophe, and then it means that there's just a plural. Only when there is an apostrophe and then it would shows a possessive noun, right? But in this case, there is no apostrophe, so it is just a plural noun. My older brother's bicycles are red. My older brother's bicycles are red. So my older brother's bicycles are red. So brothers is right there is the apostrophe, right? And the apostrophe is after the S, right? Remember we said that if the apostrophe is after the S, right? After the word that is plural, and then it is a plural possessive noun. All right, so now we're going back and we're going to form the singular or plural possessives. So if we form the singular and plural possessives, right? A possessive noun, it shows who or what owns something or has something. And we add an apostrophe and s to a singular noun to make it a possessive noun. And there we have an example of Matt. Remember, if something belongs to someone, then we can say it is Jake's bull, it is Sarah's doll, right? So that is a singular possessive, right? Remember, if it only shows that there is, for example, if it only shows, I apologize. So if it only shows, for example, birds, right? If it does not have any apostrophe at all, and then it means that it is a plural noun, right? It is only a plural noun. But as soon as it shows a but as soon as it shows that it is, for example, there's an apostrophe, and then when there's an apostrophe, and then it means that that is not showing possession. It is not showing that you own something, or it shows that someone has something, right? And here we have an example of Matt, right? So the gloves that belongs to Matt. So this is Matt's gloves. It is the gloves that belongs to Matt. So if the gloves belongs to Matt, then we can say it is Matt's glove, right? And there we have the apostrophe. And the same with the bird, right? The same with the bird. The wings, right? So if we are making mention of the wings of the birds, then we can say the bird's wings, right? And there we are putting the apostrophe, and the apostrophe shows that it is something that belongs to the bird, right? Which is the wings, belongs to the bird. Even if we were to say the girls, right? Um, one girl. So if we want to talk about the girl's doll, and then we will say the girl's apostrophe doll, right? And that is the girl. And it belongs to her. It is her doll. It is something that she owns, right? So we put the apostrophe and the s. Remember, if you do not put the apostrophe and the s, and you just say the girl's doll, right? No apostrophe. And then it means that you are making mention of a plural noun, not a plural possessive noun, right? The apostrophe and the S, or the apostrophe, it basically makes it a possessive noun. But as soon as you forget to put the to put the apostrophe there, and then it means that it is basically just a plural noun. It is not a possessive noun at all, right? So now if we look at this activity or the sentence, our colors, right? So if it is the colors of the flag, right? So if it's the colors of your flag, then we need to type the possessive noun. Then we will say our flag's colors, right? And there we put the apostrophe and S. Our flag's colors. And remember, we said that the apostrophe that gets added to the specific word, it makes it a possessive, all right? If you do not put the apostrophe, and then we will just assume that it is a plural noun. It just shows that there is more than one. And in this case, it is not more than one. We are specifically talking about the colors of the flag, right? So our flag's colors. So we're talking about the colors of the flags. And the lid. So if we talk about the lid of the pan, right? The lid of the pan. And then we will say the pan's lid. So the pan's lid. right? So this is the lid of the pan, right? So we are then making mention of the pan's lid. And there we have our apostrophe and our S. Because the apostrophe over there and the S, if we add it to a single noun, and then it makes it a possessive noun. Once again, if you do not add the apostrophe, and then it means that it is basically just a plural noun, right? And it does not show ownership. It does not show like you have something, right? It will basically show that it is more than one thing. But in this case, we want it to show ownership. We want it to show that it has something, which means that the pan has a lid, right? The lid belongs to this pan, right? And that is what it means when when it shows ownership, or it shows that it has something. All right, so now let's go to our test. So our colors. So what colors? Is it our flag colors or our flags' colors? We need to type the possessive form of the given noun. The possessive form of the given noun. Our flag colors or our flags' colors. And if we want to show the possessive form of the given noun, and then we will say our flags' colors, right? Because it basically shows or makes mention of the colors of the flag. So our flags' colors. We need to type the possessive form of the given noun. The table edge or the table's edge. Is it the table edge or the table's edge? So basically, if we are making mention of the edge of the table, right? It is the edge of this specific table. And then we will then say that it is the table's edge, right? It is the table's edge because now we are talking about that specific edge of that table. So the table's edge. And we put the apostrophe, right? Remember, our apostrophe needs to be there because if there's no apostrophe, only an S, and then it shows plural noun. It does not show plural possessive noun or possessive form of the given noun. And his wife name or his wife's name, right? It is the name of his wife. So the name of his wife's name, the name of his wife's name, which means that we put the apostrophe and the S to show that it is the name of his wife, the wife's name. And then lastly, if we type the possessive form of the given noun, then we can say, is it the hunter idea or the hunter's idea? The hunter idea or the hunter's idea. So if the idea belongs to the hunter, if the hunter comes up with the idea, right? If you come up with the idea, then it is your idea, which means that if the hunter comes up with the idea, and then we can say it is the hunter's idea, meaning that the ideas belongs to the hunter. The hunter came up with the ideas. So the hunter's idea. All right. All right, so that is now our lesson on possessive nouns, and we see that possessive noun shows who or what owns something or has something, right? And remember, we see that we add an apostrophe and s to a singular noun, and if there is a plural noun, right, that that ends in an s, for example, boys, um, schools, right? And you want to show something that either the boys or the schools or something owns, right? And then instead of putting the apostrophe and the s, we just add the s, right? So that is now the end of our lesson on possessive nouns. Thank you very much, grade twos, for joining. Thank you very much for being actively involved. You should have a good day further. Goodbye.